Welcome to your community. This is your hometown. This is Walton Entertainment. This is where you can hear from the community and those making a difference. We explore topics, local festivals, arts and entertainment, and local news. For this program and much more, visit us online at yourlocalstream.com. That's yourlocalstream.com.
Museum, I'd like to welcome you to our beautiful historic courthouse, and hope that you enjoy what you see here today, and I think you will. I have to take this moment to get in a plug for the museum, so you just have to bear with me. We're celebrating our 10th anniversary this year, and we'd love for you to come by and take a look. We're right down the street, block and a half or so, we're going to have a lot going on, but one thing I would mention is that we have one major gallery, our Hometown Teens Gallery, which we opened in 2016, is going to close this year. We're probably going to take that down around April. So if you haven't seen that, or it's been a long time since you've seen it, you might want to drop by and take a look. We have this all the time. It's all about high schools in Monroe. We've got Monroe High School, Carver High School, the old A&M school, and George Walton. We have videos and pictures, and what happens is people come in there and they start looking and say, hey, that's me. So a lot of you are part of history, whether you know that or not. The other thing I'd like to mention is our Facebook page. We try to put as much Monroe history on that page as we can. We have about 7,500 followers, and you can learn something there, if not every day, every week. Also, when you visit our Facebook page and you comment, we learn things. So please do that. The other thing I'd like to mention is Monroe history. And just like I just said, you're it. And you're the best source that we have for history. Your family history, your church, your organizations. Our archives, we have minutes and meeting minutes and scrapbooks from almost every organization in Monroe. And if you have things like that, like genealogy, like Mr. Genealogy, Hugo Peters on the front row here, but if you've got family history, and let me tell you folks, when you die, your kid's going to throw it in the trash. So if you bring it to us, it won't be thrown away. It'll be archived and it'll be kept for research. So make you aware of that. We are very fortunate this afternoon to have Mr. Charles Young with us to speak to you about Buffalo Soldiers. Charles is the great-grandson of Buddy Conyers, who was not born in Monroe, but he came to Monroe at a very early age and lived his life here. And I'm going to tell you a little about Buddy, his wife Lou Elle, and what Buddy went through. And then I'm going to turn it over to Charles, and he's going to tell you about Buddy and about Buffalo Soldiers in general, which he does all the time. And he's traveled here from Arizona, so we're very fortunate to have him and very grateful that he took time to do that with us. I also mentioned that Charles is the great-nephew? No, nephew. Nephew of Dan Young, who was a community leader, civil rights worker, and owned Young's Funeral Home here for a long time. So he's got a lot of ties with us, and we appreciate him being here. But let's get back to Buddy. Boyd Conyers, I think, came here when he was about 4 years old from Covington, and grew up here. And now I'm unsure whether he married before he entered the Army or vice versa, but those two milestones in his life are close together. And in Buddy's words, or paraphrase of his words, he entered the Army to get an education and to better himself. And he was in the 25th Infantry, which was one of the Buffalo Soldier units at that time. And in 1906, that unit, which I think was 167 black soldiers, Buffalo Soldiers, they were sent to Brownsville, Texas. There was a fort there where they were bivouacked. And the problem was that there were no black citizens in Brownsville, Texas. The town was about half white and half Mexican. And there were tensions caused by that. They really didn't want those black soldiers in town. And so shortly after they arrived, an incident occurred. It was during the night, and people started firing shots. There were over 200 shots fired. One man was killed, another was injured. And it's called the Brownsville Raid or the Brownsville Affair. You can look it up on Google. It's too long of a story for me to tell it all here today, but it's very interesting. Well, the outcome of that was that the blame was placed on the 25th Infantry, on the black soldiers. Well, they were all in bed asleep and all their weapons were locked up. There was no way they could have had anything to do with that. But that's where the blame landed. And investigations took place, and it still stayed there. It went all the way to President Theodore Roosevelt. And Roosevelt, very unwisely, discharged that entire unit from the Army. It was not a dishonorable discharge, but it's a discharge without honor, which meant, though there were some of them that just 1 or 2 years away from retirement, and none of them could receive their benefits after that. They were all just summarily discharged from the Army and lost their benefits. Buddy, on the night that this occurred, was on guard duty. You know, he was asleep when it happened. He was not the one walking guard, whatever, but he was on guard duty. And so it came around that they thought Buddy knew something. And they talked to him there in Brownsville when they did that investigation. And then it went further, and there was an investigation done by the government, by the Army. And then finally, Roosevelt was actually trying to back up the lie that he was, I won't say he was telling the lie, but he was supporting the lie. And he sent 2 investigators, private investigators, to Monroe to depose Buddy. And that happened right here in this building. Sheriff Claude Arnold, who had an office here, was present along with the investigators, and they talked to Buddy for several hours. And Buddy told him the same thing that he had told the other investigators before that he knew absolutely nothing. He was asleep when this happened. Well, that didn't satisfy the investigators. They went back to Washington, and they wrote a confession for Buddy. And they gave it to President Roosevelt. And it was published as Buddy's confession. Well, the people of Monroe were astounded. Sheriff Arnold, I can't quote his words, but in essence he said, "This is the biggest lie I've ever seen anybody sign their name to." And of course the investigators had signed the name. And Buddy had dozens of character witnesses, both black and white, from town, and he just knew everybody. He was a gregarious kind of fella, and went around and he'd done just about everything as far as making a living. But and then later on, he had to go to Washington and testify before the Senate, and he did this on his own dime. He didn't get paid, he didn't get reimbursed anything. He went to Washington, he testified before the Senate, and that went on for days and weeks. His wife was pregnant with their first child. They would eventually have 8 children, I believe. And finally, Buddy was so frustrated, and he said, "Look, I've come here, paid my own way, and I've told you the truth, and I've told you all I know. My wife is at home expecting our first child, and she's not doing well, and I would love for you to just give me permission to go home." Well, about a month later, they did. But luckily, the child was born, and everything was okay there. But so if you look at this and what Buddy went through, you think, well, this man's got a chip on his shoulder. He's got a grudge. He's got this. Well, he may have, but it never showed. Buddy was an unbelievable citizen in town. Like I said, he had a dozen different jobs, but he came home, he started his own business. He was shoe shine man at Ash's Barbershop, but he also at his own home had a shoe business where he shined shoes, he repaired shoes, he dyed the ladies' shoes to match their evening gowns and things like that. But in addition to that, Buddy also led an orchestra that played for dances and all. And I just found out last year from our good friend Ken Mobley that Buddy managed a semi-pro baseball team. They played in a field out here on Alcova Street. They were called the Monroe Blue Caps. And in 1929, they won the state championship in the Georgia Negro League. So a man of many talents, definitely a Renaissance man. He was an avid baseball fan. He traveled to New York at least one time to watch his Dodgers play. He loved the Dodgers, and he went to see them play in the World Series with the Yankees, I believe. But his wife, Luelle, and I think Luelle was born here in Monroe, and Luelle was a fabulous cook. She had a catering business where she was sought after by everybody in town who was having a party or anything like that. So in 1970, this book was published, and it's titled The Brownsville Raid, and this is Buddy on the front of it. But this book came out, and the whole Brownsville thing came back to the surface. An investigation was reopened in the Senate, and all of these men were exonerated. And the problem with that is that by this time, I don't think there were more than 6 of them that were still alive. So,
just one.
Just
yeah.
one.
Yeah, Dorothy Willis. Yeah.
So it really just something to, I guess, make everybody feel better, but it didn't do a lot of good. So with that background, I'm going to turn this over to Charles and let him. Wait a minute.
Nixon, he got a pardon.
Yeah, Nixon pardoned all of it.
Yeah.
Nixon was president then. He did something right. but no, like I said, in reality, it really didn't do that much good. But I'm going to turn the mic over to Charles now, and he's going to tell you a lot more.
I don't know about how much more with it. How's everybody doing this afternoon? Can everybody hear me? Can you hear me back there? Okay, good. Like I say, my name is Charles Young, and I'm Buddy Conyers' great-grandson, and unfortunately my cousin had married, they got lost. Oh no, and she is Buddy's oldest living granddaughter. She actually used to come here to Monroe and be with, as we call him, Big Daddy and Mammy, and she'd be here shortly. It was them on the phone. But anyway, as I said, my name is Charles Young. I live in Phoenix, Arizona. I have what I call a little mini ranch out there, and I've been doing Buffalo Soldier living history presentations for over 20-some years now. And how I got started, I went to an event which is called SAS, Single Action Cowboy Shooting. I'm a cowboy. That's in my other life I always wanted to be was a cowboy, but never quite made the grade. But and so I met this gentleman, and he started telling me about Buffalo Soldiers and black cowboys. And I'm like, yeah, get out of here, right? And so that started my interest, piqued my interest, and then it just took off from there, and I started reading books and doing stuff, and so here I am today. So a lot of people get confused between the Buffalo Soldiers and the United States Colored Troops. Okay, the United States Colored Troops fought in the Civil War. They were all African American, and they were commanded by white officers. Then at the end of the Civil War, it was a volunteer army. So everybody did what? Went home. And so everybody went home, and so also in the west of west of the Mississippi, the West was being settled. So there was a lot of stuff going on. Because, the bad guys from back east were sneaking out to the west to hide from the lawmen and everything. There was a lot going out in the West. And so Congress, on July the 28th, 1866, which is the Buffalo Soldiers' birthday, had an Army Reorganization Act. And they said, with this, we're going to establish a first-time peacetime army. And thus, I think it was 4 cavalry units, which ride the horses, and 8 infantry units. And they said, and 2 of those cavalry units are going to be all black. And 4 of the infantry regiments are going to be all black. Thus was born the 9th and 10th Cavalry, the 38th, 39th, 40th, and 41st Infantry. Now in 1869, Congress got another branch and said, no, we're spending too much money, so we're going to consolidate the 4 infantry regiments into 2 regiments, the 24th and the 25th Infantry. And so it was all done, and they were all dispersed, and when they got trained, they were all dispersed out west. And you name it, they did it. They protected the settlers. They put up telegraph poles and strung telegraph wires. They built roads. They protected the settlers. They even chased Billy the Kid in the Lincoln County Wars. Okay, and believe it or not, guess who the first Border Patrol was? The Buffalo Soldiers. If I had my slides, like I was telling Steve, usually when I do, it's like an inside presentation, I have a bunch of displays I set up so that I can point to them to help people understand, but unfortunately I wasn't going to be trying to lug all that stuff on the airport, so, and we couldn't, my gentleman over there was trying to get my jump drive where we couldn't get it to work, so you just have to, when you go home, get a look. And if you look at all the posts in Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, right along the border were all the forts where the Buffalo Soldiers were stationed. And they were your first Border Patrol. In fact, when I went to an event one time, and there were some Border Patrol agents there, and there was a young agent there, and an older agent there, and so I just wanted to mess me being the young came out of me, you know. And I said, asked the young guy, I said, do you know who the first Border Patrol was? And he looked at me, yeah, we were. And the old guy looked and said, no, we weren't. And he, did what? He said, the Buffalo Soldiers were. So like I said, we played an integral part in the settling of the West. Unfortunately, we don't get a lot of credit for a lot of the things that we did, but that's why I'm here today to share a little bit of it. Now, mainly, they say the first Buffalo Soldier unit, they say all of them started in 1866. That's when and the last unit was deactivated in 1951. That's when the last unit was deactivated. And after that, there was, I think it was integration. I don't remember, some of you might remember when they decided to integrate the military. We used to have a gentleman with us, Billy Stewart, who has passed on. He was in the 24th Infantry at the time when that came down, and he could talk about it himself because he was in at the time and he went through the whole thing they were going through. Now, during that time, now I have a quick question. I hear this is a question. Who was the first African American to attend West Point? Anybody?
Grierson?
No, it's the most African American.
Right. Was it Grierson?
No, he was one of their commanders that embellished, that really not embellished, but embraced.
Flipper.
Okay, anybody else?
Flipper. O.C.M. Flipper, I think he's from Thomasville, Georgia.
Okay, that was a trick question. Because the reason it was a trick question, I said, who was the first to attend West Point? Yeah. The first cadet, I think it was Michael Smith, I have to check my notes, and Michael Howard, that was in 1870. Flipper was the first to graduate. He was the first to graduate in 1877. For the 4 years he was there, nobody spoke to him, and they ostracized him. They didn't do, they had had nothing to do with him. He was basically on a ship all by himself. Anytime his group was going to do something, they had to, here's my cousin finally, okay. And anytime they had something to do, they always sent him off to do something off. But he still graduated near the top of his class, and when he graduated, he was assigned to the 10th Cavalry at Fort Bliss, Oklahoma, which at the time was they were stationed in Oklahoma, but they were at Fort Concho, when I've been to. Where's she at?
She's coming.
Okay. Huh?
Hello. Oh, no, I have to say.
There comes my beautiful cousin. Okay. Yeah, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this here is Ms. Betsy Hardeman. She is Buddy Carnes' oldest living granddaughter right here, my cousin right here.
I'm not his oldest living
Oh, you know-
I am his only living.
Okay, all right, I stand corrected. That's my cousin always corrected. Okay. And okay, so where was I? Where was I talking about? Oh, I was talking about, like I say, that was a trick question that I was asking you about. Now, the second graduate was John Alexander Hanks, and the third graduate was Charles Young. I look pretty good for a couple 100 years old, don't I? and Hanks and Young were roommates while they were there. Hanks graduated in 1887, and Young graduated a couple years later, and they were roommates. When Hanks graduated, they stationed him to the 10th Cavalry also, I think it was, but unfortunately he had a heart problem and he died at a young age. And then Charles Young graduated, and he went on to have an exceptional career with the Army. And at the time that he was the highest ranking, he reached the rank of colonel, and he was the highest ranking African American at the time in the United States Army. And so what happened, he had a high blood pressure or some medical condition, and they discharged him. And so he went back to Ohio, and I think it was it Wilberforce? That's not all black. Yeah, Wilberforce College. He went there and taught military science, rode his horse from Ohio to Washington, D.C. to prove his fitness for duty. And then they reinstated him, and there was a war going on at the time, and him being at the rank of colonel, those of us that are in the military know that his next rank was a one-star general. Well, the Army wasn't quite ready for that. You know, they weren't quite ready for obvious reasons. They weren't quite ready for that, so they sent him things to Liberia. He contracted malaria and passed on. But at the time, he was the highest ranking African American in the Army. And also, I think about 6 months ago, he was posthumously promoted to brigadier general. Yeah, and so he was going to start, but unfortunately, he didn't get now. And also, the interesting thing about West Point is that I had read in the book where the horsemanship at West Point was taught by the black NCOs of the 9th and 10th Cavalry. Because they were such excellent horsemen. So I happened to be in an event one time there, and I was, because anything I don't know for sure, I'll say I heard or I read something, and as we all know, you can't believe everything you read and everything you hear. And had to be a gentleman standing behind some people. He said, yeah, you're correct. And so I looked at him and said, okay, and what you talking about? He said, because either his grandfather or his great-grandfather had went to West Point, and when he came home, all he could talk about was the great horsemanship skills that the NCOs, the black NCOs had from the 9th and 10th Cavalry. He said they were exceptional. He said he just couldn't believe it. He said he couldn't believe it at all. And so like I said, Charles Young, and then after that, like I said, believe it or not, now this I'll share it with you, but you can't promise to take it out this building. Okay, can we agree? There was allegedly a woman that was a Buffalo Soldier. Her name was Kathy Williams. Now, about 6-7 months ago, one of my mentors, Dr. Lehner, who Steve's had the privilege to talk to on the phone, we were talking about Kathy Williams. And he was like, no. I said, well, what are you talking about, Dr. Lehner? And where the story goes, during the Civil War, the Union Army came through Missouri, and they stopped at the plantation where Kathy was a slave. And so, of course, they liberated the slaves, and she became a cook for the general there. And so once the Civil War ended, of course, the African Americans were competing with everybody else for jobs during that time. And so she disguised a situation with two of her cousins that, you know what, I'm going to join the Army. So she disguised herself as a man and signed her name as William Cathay, and her cousins joined the, she was in the 38th Infantry. And so as the story allegedly goes, she got sick and went to the infirmary. You guys are laughing already. Yeah, went to the infirmary. And so they go to the infirmary, so they open up her sack coat and get ready to go.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Abigail Johnson from the Walton County Chamber of Commerce, and we are here at Thrive Aesthetic and Wellness, and we are going to turn it over to them, and they're going to tell you a little bit about what they offer and what they do. So here they are.
Hey, so we are a full-service med spa here. We offer injectables, IV therapy, medical weight loss, and so many other options.
We are located at 517 Great Oaks Drive, Suite 102, right below Walton Entertainment.
So we are Monroe's first wellness spa. You can follow us at Thrive Well Spa on Instagram and Facebook. Our website is thrivewellspa.com. Our telephone number is 678-635-3677.
Say to everybody, thank you. We do still have some leaves to update behind us on the tree from donations that came in December, but this wouldn't be possible without the support of all of you, of our board, our staff, our city, our cities, and counties. So we really, really, really appreciate all of your support. And cheers to 75 more years for the chamber, right?
Cheers! Great cut.
Senior Living. We're located at 171 Highway 78 in Monroe. We have just opened for business. We're a personal care home, and we would love to, if you or a loved one need some assistance with some daily living, we'd love to help you out with that. Please stop by from a tour for Monday through Friday from 9 to 4, or you can find us on our website or on Facebook.
Yes, you can also give us a call at 770-207-0222, and you can ask to speak with myself, Sarah Strickland, or Ms. Shawn Cleveland.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
1, 2, 3. Yay! Good afternoon, everyone. It is Friday, February 17th, and we are here at American Trilogy Formal Wear, and we are so excited to have y'all here at the mill, and I'm going to turn it over to Madeline. She's going to say a few words.
Hey guys, my name is Madeline, and I am coming to you from American Trilogy Formal at Walton Mill. We're so excited to be here. We have been in downtown Monroe doing the formal thing for about 2 years now, and now we've officially moved into quite a different and bigger location. It's exciting, it's fun, it's of course bigger, and we're located right near our bridal shop, which is awesome for us and it's awesome for you guys. We're located here at 600 South Broad Street, Suite C120, and we're so excited for this. So yeah.
Are y'all ready to cut the ribbon?
We're ready to cut it.
All right.
Do you want to say a phone number? No.
Nope.
Okay. she's like, nope. 1, 2, 3.
Very good.
Go ahead and cut again.
I'm gonna cut it first to get the ribbons.
Woo! That's fun. You were
Hi, and welcome to Monroe Walton Center for the Arts. Our member show is coming down today as Paul is filming this. The elementary student art show opens February, I believe it's 24th, Wednesday or Thursday. It'll be a great show. It's always the happiest, most colorful, most encouraging, most uplifting show of the year. It's just so creative. We actually have lots of patrons who come in who want to buy the art that our elementary school students produce for this show. It's just a fabulous show. Of course, the public schools are in it. The Walton County private schools are also invited into this show. So lots of art, hundreds and hundreds of pieces, and it's just a lot of fun. It's really such a great show. So that show will be up next week, or this week when you see this. And another new program that we have coming in is Artistic Shelter with Donna Kaufman. Donna tragically lost her son Christopher in an automobile accident in August, and she has taken how she uses art. Of course, art. Donna is our education chair here. She teaches our sip and paint. She teaches most of our children's programming. So she has taken that and she is using that to propel her into helping other people, and that's our mission here, is to celebrate the beauty and the healing power of art. So she is taking that to create this whole new program called Artistic Shelter, and it is right now we're really focused on those who have suffered grief and loss of a close family member or a close friend. There's lots of ways to experience tragedy and grief in this world, but right now we're really focusing on bereavement and grief and loss. So the workshop is almost full, but this will be a thing that we will hopefully be able to continue to do thanks to support and grants that we have received. We are offering this workshop. It's an 8-week workshop free of charge to the participants, and we're only taking 8 people, and I think right now she has at least 6. So if this one fills up, we will create a waiting list and try to get people in as we can to the subsequent workshops. But we're really encouraged by this and so proud of Donna. So go to our website, MonroeWaltonArts.org, MonroeWaltonArts.org, and look and see under our adult classes. You can see all the details and how to register for that. You email Donna. Like I said, it's free. The materials are free. I think she will have some supplemental materials that if you want to get on your own, you can, but the basic materials are free, and it will give you some basic journaling, artistic journaling techniques to give you moments of distraction, ways to process your grief and deal with it in a healthy way. As Donna says, it's not going to heal your broken heart, but it will provide you, hopefully, with some moments of comfort. So look for that on our website. It's also on our Facebook page. Our Facebook page is Monroe Walton Center for the Arts. If you look for that on Facebook, you've got to use the whole name, Monroe Walton Center for the Arts. If you look for that on Facebook, you'll find us, and you'll find information about that class and other classes that are coming up. Our watercolor class is a new class that just started today as Paul is filming this, and it is great. I'm hearing wild, crazy, great reviews from the students who have taken that. That's taught by Camden. So really proud of the things that we're offering here to help people on their artistic journey and to live a healthy life, dealing with stress and things that we all have to deal with. Come in and see us and pick up a class list. You'll find kind of the basics on this class list. I tell people if I printed out all the details for everything, this thing would be 6 pages long. So this is just a quick list of the classes that we have and special events. And then you go to our website to get the details with photographs, with full explanations, how to register, what the fees are, and all of that is out on our website at MonroeWaltonArts.org. So please do come see us. See the elementary show. I think you'll be amazed and encouraged by it. Pick up our new rack card. This card on one side has all of our gallery shows that are coming up for 2023, and then some highlights of some of the special events that we have coming up. This side has QR codes. One of them actually works. This one down here doesn't actually work. But if you scan this one, it will take you to our website. So come see us and have an artful life. Thank you.
Hey everyone, my name is Joel Burnsett and I'm the Walton County Ag and Natural Resource Extension Agent. And I just wanted to give everyone an update that we have moved locations. You know, our old office was in downtown Monroe in the old bank at 100 North Broad Street, but we are now moved out to Criswell Park, and our new address is 1258 Criswell Road Southeast. If you have any extension needs, which would be 4-H, Ag and Natural Resources, water samples, soil samples, gardening questions, anything of that nature, our phone number is the same, or you can stop by physically at our new location on Criswell Road, and we would be happy to help you. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. It's Michelle Patrick from the 4-H office. I just wanted to make sure you all know that our camp registration started yesterday. So our camps are available now if you would like to apply for summer camp this year. We have the Cloverleaf Camp. So this is for 4th through 6th graders. And this year we're going to the beach. So come to the beach with us. It's Monday to Friday in late June. And then we also have our junior camps and our senior camps. So we have camps for everyone from 4th grade through 12th grade. And if you'd like information, please just visit our website or give us a call. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Jody Johnson. I'm here with another recreation report. I want to I first want to start out with congratulating all of the recreation basketball teams. We had our end of the season tournament, and congratulations to all those teams that won the countywide championship. We had a great tournament. We had over 1,000 kids playing basketball, and our regular season is over. So now we'll turn towards our all-star selection process, where we have our local league teams from Monroe, Loganville, and Social Circle who band together, make an all-star team, and then they play a small internal tournament, and then the winner of that tournament would advance to represent Walton County itself in the Georgia Recreation and Parks Association district and/or state tournaments that will be coming up towards the end of February. So we're looking forward to that. Now that it's Groundhog Day, I know by the time this airs, Groundhog Day will be over, and hopefully spring is right around the corner. For us, with basketball ending, we are in our spring mode, which means our baseball and softball registration has ended. Hopefully you got in. I know our last show I dedicated a lot of time towards getting everybody registered for our baseball and softball and our soccer and our track program. So hopefully you got in. If you didn't, you may can contact one of our local offices and see if they have a space available. But we are making plans on ordering uniforms and selecting teams and getting everybody started practicing. As soon as the weather kind of gets a little better, we'll be outside the month of February practicing, so games will start around March 18th for our opening day for our baseball and softball. Track will practice a couple of days a week as well and get ready for some of their track meets. They usually go to 5 or 6 track meets a year. So a lot of spring activities are going on. Hopefully the weather will work out for us. It seems to be raining about a couple of days a week, and then cold and windy the other couple of days, and we usually get 1 or 2 nice days out of the week. So hopefully teams will be able to get out on those nice days. For you guys that want to start exercising, continuing on that healthy lifestyle, I want to invite you to our community centers. The Monroe, Loganville, and Social Circle are a great place to go and walk inside while the weather is wet or cold outside. On those nice days, there's usually a close by walking trail you can get on and walk with your friends or make new friends. Join a class. For anybody that's 55 and older, our senior fitness class is really doing well. There's usually around 65 to 70 people working out. We do it 6 times a week on 5 different days. So you can go to our website at waltoncountyga.gov and find out what day we do have our senior aerobics class that's close to you. We have a lot of people that go to all of them that enjoy it that much. It's free for anyone 55 and older, and we'd ask you to go and make sure that your doctor says it's okay for you to do. And there's different levels of the fitness class. You can get up and dance and punch and throw and move around at your own pace, or you can sit in a chair and do it on a light note. So I would invite anyone to come do that. They say it's a life changer. After, if you can stick with it for 2 weeks, that it will change your life and make you so much more healthy and energetic, that they say that once you stay for 2 weeks, you won't miss again. And we have a lot of seniors that tell me that a lot of times, that they count on that senior class. It keeps them moving and keeps them mobile. So I would encourage everyone that maybe is sitting down watching the television to get out and get active. It's the best way to stay fit and a healthy life. So if you didn't get out to our registration, make sure you contact our office. It's very important that if you do want to participate in our programs, and we want you to participate in our programs, we invite you to do that. We invite you to come to our community centers. It won't be long, and people will be having reunions and birthday parties. So if you're looking at renting one of our pavilions, or maybe even the splash park, I would encourage you to go ahead and start doing that and make plans. Go to our website and find out. The numbers are all on the website, and the fees for all those things. We filled up last year. Almost every date that we had for our splash park filled up. We're going to try to open up a secondary time slot on the weekends so everybody can have their events that wants to have them at our facilities. They're very affordable and very clean and nice place to have your events. So go to our website, waltoncountyga.gov. Look at all the information we have there. Find a park near you and get active. Until next time, thank you very much.
Hey Walton County, it's Patrice Broughton here, your Public Information Officer with another county update. We'll start with our February 7th board meeting. We had 2 presentations to start that board meeting, where we presented several EMTs and firefighters with life-saving awards. I want to start with Walton County firefighter Joshua Chapman. So Sheriff Joe Chapman presented Walton County fireman and EMT Joshua Chapman and Georgia State Trooper Corporal L. Ray with commendations at the board meeting on February 7th. Both Chapman and Ray administered life-saving Narcan to 2 individuals experiencing an opioid crisis. Sheriff Joe Chapman stated, "There is no doubt in my mind that the actions of Georgia State Trooper Corporal L. Ray and Walton County firefighter Josh Chapman saved the life of one of, if not both, of those people. As a peace officer and a county sheriff with over 30 years of experience, I was very impressed with the way Trooper Larry Ray and firefighter Josh Chapman handled a very difficult and chaotic situation. Their actions and professionalism are to be commended." We then had Emergency Medical Services Director Ronnie Allman and Walton County Fire Rescue Chief Kevin Haney present a You Make a Difference Award to paramedic Britt Sarton, EMT Shannon Patterson, Captain Wes Johnson, firefighter Luke Smith, firefighter Justin Oakley, dispatcher Taylor Monk, and dispatcher Lisa Greenwood. These individuals were instrumental in saving the life of a Walton County citizen after she went into cardiac arrest several times. We would like to thank all of them for all of their dedication and their service to the citizens of Walton County. Chairman Thompson honored deceased World War II veteran and POW Ernest William Walls. He had some great things to say about Mr. Walls, and if you'd like to see those comments, please log onto our Facebook page or our Walton County website to take a look at the meeting video for that day. Chairman Thompson called the roll and started the meeting. All commissioners were present at the meeting. And we started with Planning Commission recommendations. There was an approval of an event facility located at 1940 Highway 81. and the Board of Commissioners took the recommendation of the Planning Commission and approved the rezone. There was also an alteration to zoning conditions for property located at Highway 78 and Tommy Dillard Road. It was approved to remove the conditions that were previously put on the property at a previous board meeting. So they approved the consent agenda, and then we had a resolution amending the Walton County Civil Service Personnel Rules and Regulations, and it was adopted, and it basically changed the rules so that the county manager has day-to-day operations. We had a proposed increase in solid waste fees, and I want to give some more information on that. So at its February 7th meeting, the Walton County Board of Commissioners voted to increase the Walton County solid waste fees. The proposed increases come from recent increases in the waste disposal agreement with the City of Monroe. The Walton County Board of Commissioners voted to raise the scale rates at the Walton County Recycling Center from $45 per ton to $65 per ton, and the green bags were increased by 50 cents per bag. The changes will only impact those using the green bag program and the Keep Walton Beautiful Recycling Center for solid waste disposal. The changes will not affect those using private haulers, and the new rates are set to go into effect on March 10th, 2023. The increase in revenue will help offset any cost Walton County Public Works incurs for solid waste disposal, and will help us continue to offer services to reflect the need of our customers. The green bags are available for purchase at grocery stores and convenience stores on the Public Works Sanitation website, and you can find those on Walton County's website under Public Works and Sanitation. So after the approval of the increase in solid waste fees, there was an acceptance of a proposal for design services for the Walton County Employee Health Clinic for precision planning. The Walton County Development Authority appointed Thomas Carter and Betty Ray to reappointments on the Walton County Development Authority Board. And then we had our county manager's update, and County Manager John Ward gave an update on everything that's going on in the county. He stated that we will have ribbon cuttings going forward for the new Walton County Extension Office, as well as a groundbreaking that was postponed for the Walton County Fire Rescue Station number 7. So there was discussion by the Board of Commissioners on acquiring additional parking lots spaces for employees, for county employees, in downtown Monroe, and they're approved to lease 10 spaces from Peters and Foster's on an annual basis. There was no public comment. We did have an executive sessions, but there were no votes taken in executive session. And that was all for the board meeting. As always, if you have any questions for us, you're always welcome to give us a call at 770-267-1301. Please be on the lookout on our Facebook page and other social media pages for our ribbon cuttings and other events that we're hosting here at Walton County. Thank you so much, Walton County, and we hope everyone is remaining safe and getting ready for the spring weather.
Hello, I'm Kenny Sargent with Keep Walton Beautiful and the Walton County Recycling Center. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. The first thing I wanted to discuss is effective March 10th, we will be going up on our scale rates here at the recycling center. They will, from March 10th on, they will be $65 a ton for any of the items that are disposed of here at the center. Basically the landfill cost went up, and we were forced to go up to kind of match the increase we're seeing. So starting March 10th, everything that's disposed of here at the recycling center, when you come across the scale, will be $65 a ton for those disposal fees. again, if you have any questions about that or want to know more, give us a call here at the Recycling Center, 770-267-1421. We'd be happy to discuss it a little more, hear any of your questions or concerns about that. So give us a call. Again, that goes into effect March 10th. We're starting to ease into spring, and we're starting to schedule some of our events. And the one that we have scheduled right now, we're going to do a document destruction event on Saturday, April 22nd from 10 until 12. We've partnered up with the Loganville Lions Club, and we did that as well last year. And it will be at the City Hall in Loganville from 10 to 12 on Saturday, April 22nd. That is Earth Day. Again, if you have any questions, give us a call. There are no limits on boxes that can be brought in. With the new company we're using for document destruction, they don't put any limits on how much paper you can bring in. As some of you may remember in the past, with a different company, they had that limit at like 2 banker boxes per citizen. That is no longer the case with the new company. So if you've got more than that, feel free to bring it. And again, that will be at the Loganville City Hall, Saturday, April 22nd, from 10 a.m. to 12. So give us a call. We'd be happy to answer any questions about that. We've also started looking ahead to another paint recycling or paint collection event that we want to do probably around May or June, about the same time as we did it last year. But we are going to start doing those paint collection events twice a year. So just be on the lookout. I'll keep you updated with once we have a date set in stone for that. But we are kind of inquiring about that and trying to figure out a date. And we do plan to have another of those in the spring, early summer. So be out on the lookout for that. One of the other things, I say it a lot, but it's getting to be that time of year, and a lot of people are trimming back their crepe myrtles and starting to, get ready for spring. And we've been turning a lot of cars away here at the recycling center and sending them to the inert landfill. If you come down here with limbs and branches and shrubs and grass clippings, leaves, all of that stuff, we're going to have to send you to an inert landfill. So I just wanted to get that message out there so you're not wasting a trip coming out here trying to bring something we just simply cannot accept. One of the other things that went into effect back in January, as some of you may be aware of, is we can no longer accept mattresses here at the center. Right now we're sending folks out to the Walton C&D landfill out on 78. They're collecting those mattresses, but presently we can no longer accept those here. The landfill where we take our solid waste will no longer accept mattresses. So we are doing our due diligence. We're trying our best. We've talked to a couple of different companies. We're trying to find a way to get back to accepting mattresses again, because we want to provide that opportunity for our citizens to get rid of their mattresses at a reasonable rate. So we are working hard to try to get that figured out, and we're hopeful that we will be able to in the future. But as of right now, we aren't accepting mattresses here at the center. If any of that changes, we'll be updating that on our website, our Facebook page. The next time I do one of these TV spots, I'll be sure and mention it if we do reach some resolution with that. But presently, we aren't accepting mattresses here, so if you come down here with them, we'll be trying to direct you to somewhere you can take those. I do feel like I put a lot of information out there this time. Again, if you have questions about any of that, if you have questions, any other environmental questions or concerns you have, litter questions or concerns, feel free to call us down here, 770-267-1421. We'd be happy to answer any questions we can. We'd be happy to get you started recycling. We'd be happy to teach you how to use our scales for disposal and to get started doing your trash disposal and things that way. Again, come on out and see us. Let us show you what we're doing here. And until next time, take care.
Hey, thanks a lot for tuning in today. As always, we'll show you some of the dogs that are here at the Walton County Animal Shelter. I just wanted to show you this little guy. His name is Wolfie. Now, don't get too excited because he's already got a lot of adoption applications and he's actually scheduled to get adopted today. But I wanted to show him to you to let you know that we get all kinds of dogs at the Walton Animal Shelter. We get big dogs, little dogs, cute little guys like this. So no matter what you're looking for, it'll come through at some point. You can always keep your eye on waltonpets.net. We post all the dogs and cats there. If there's something particular you're looking for, you can just go there, keep a watch out, and maybe someone like little Wolfie here, you'll be blessed to bring him into your home. So don't forget about looking at waltonpets.net to see all the dogs and cats that are at your local animal shelter.
This is Don Juan. He's a pit. He's a year old, not neutered, lots of energy.
Here we have about a 4-month-old pit mixed puppy. Lots of energy, wants to be loved, he wants to be with you. Did good with the animals that y'all just seen, going through with them. It's got lots of energy.
This is Gabby and Gabriel. They're 2 strays that we received last week, and we assume they're siblings because they're the same age, they look the same, and they were found together. And they haven't had much interest on adoption, but they're only about 10 months old.
Hey everybody, it's Isaac over at Reboot giving you the Reboot Tech Tip. I wanted to talk a little bit today about video conferencing. I know that thing has gotten so big, you know, because of the whole virus thing. You know, I know people have seen things about Zoom, you know, and how people are hacking Zoom and all that stuff. And for y'all that don't know, Zoom is it's basically a video conferencing software where, you know, you can have up to like, I don't know what it is, 5,000 people on one video conference call or something crazy like that. But anyway, so a lot of people are using that to meet, you know, a lot of organizations, so everybody can stay home and meet and stuff like that. So just give you a little info about that. Yes, Zoom was kind of hackable in the beginning and people were a little scared about it, but as far as I know, they have fixed those issues, and so it's pretty safe now. I mean, I tell people all the time, if you're on the internet, you know, somebody can hack you. That's really just the bottom line. So as far as it can be safe, I think it is. You know, Zoom is a good one. It's free if you want to do meetings for up to 40 minutes. But then after that, you have to pay for it. And I want to say it's like $15 a month or something like that. But the Zoom one is great. It has great quality. The sound is good. The video is good. All that stuff. So another one that people have been using is called like Google Duos is another one, or Google Meets. And those both can be free if you have a Gmail account, as long as everybody participating has a Gmail account or a Google account. That's a free one. That's a good one. You know, and the stuff we had before, like the FaceTime that people use for Apple products, is great. You know, Skype is probably one of the more glitchier ones. You know, sometimes it works good, sometimes it doesn't. Some devices it works on, some it doesn't. You know, it's really kind of a pain, so we don't really recommend that one. But you know, and then some folks get scared about, well, you know, after I hang up, you know, can people still see me on my webcam and all that stuff? And you know, once you cut the connection or hit leave the meeting, then you're done. You know, but if you want to, I see a lot of people, they'll put like a piece of tape or something over the webcam, you know, stuff like that, or you can unplug your webcam or turn it off inside the computer, whatever you want to do if that makes you feel a little safe. But yeah, you know, new world, so people might want to get used to the video conferencing thing. You know, obviously if you got any questions, contact your local IT guy or give us a call here at Reboot. We'll be happy to help you. But that's it. Isaac at Reboot giving you the tech tip.